Welcome to the Beauty Dharma Summit. This is Leslie Kristen, and I am here with the extraordinary Victoria Labalme. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, and hello to all watching.
Absolutely. It has been such a journey, and it is culminating to the finale with you. And yes, and everyone is in for such an amazing treat. If you don't know who Victoria is, you do now, and she is part of your community and someone that is going to help us soar to that next level. So thank you. I want to share a little bit about Victoria and who she is, and then we're going to go into all the goodness. So Victoria is a keynote speaker, performing artist, and performance coach. She helps organizations and individuals risk forward and rock the room. With over 20 years in the performing arts, from Broadway to comedy clubs, landmark films to high-profile television, Victoria helps people awaken their hidden genius and perform at their highest levels. Blending business and art, using breathtaking stage skills, gripping stories, and comedic highlights, Victoria takes audiences through a profound experience that they'll never forget. A graduate of Stanford University, Victoria is also a critically acclaimed director and producer, the author of a visual book series, and 2 online learning programs. Her proprietary through line, Rock the Room, and Risk Forward systems have transformed hundreds of thousands of people around the globe, helping elite individuals create their life's best work. Wow. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here.
Well, Victoria and I met on a very large conference, healthcare conference, and she was the keynote speaker and I was the makeup artist. And that was a couple years ago when they could have big crowds like that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
2019.
Yes. And so we've known each other since then. And actually Victoria reached out to me. She said, hey, can you, I love what you did. Can you teach me how to do that? And then we did some virtual lessons together, and here we are in COVID doing a summit, and I'm getting ready to sign up for Rock the Room. Just wanted to let you know that.
Excellent. I love it. Help you knock it out of the park on video, on camera, on stage, and in life.
Yes. So Victoria, share with us a little bit about, your journey.
In terms of who I am, how I'm here?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, you've been an actor, or you are an actor, and you do keynote speaking, and I would just love for the audience to kind of, because you're so empowering. So I would love to learn a little bit more and share with them who you are and what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Well, this it's interesting because when you hear someone's bio, there's always a backstory to the bio. And I think that's what I want to share with you right now, because there's always what's in front, what's sort of the front stage, and then there's the backstage. And for me, in my life, I never really knew where I was heading at any given time. And this, by the way, is what risking forward is. So when I was growing up, I was interested in the arts. I was interested in acting and comedy and choreography and dance and directing. And meanwhile, all my friends were starting to get married. They were having careers in business and in law. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was living in this tiny 400 square foot apartment in Lower Manhattan. And all my friends were like, well, what you doing there? You're doing this mind stuff and this acting, and where's it all going? And are you going to get married? And, I started to feel like I should have a map to life. I didn't know. But I just kept following what lit me up. And one thing led to the next, and it led to me doing off-Broadway performances of my one-woman show, and it got me into commercials, and it got me onto Sex and the City, and it got me into a documentary film with an Academy Award director. Things started to grow, and I thought, oh, I'm on my way to fame. I got picked up by a Hollywood manager who was managing Robin Williams and Billy Crystal, and then in the middle of all that, I witnessed 9/11, and that changed my career. And to some degree, I think we're all in our own 9/11 now. It's like a slow motion. It's that huge change in the world and our perception of ourselves and our place. And when we find ourselves in this cloud of not knowing, it's challenging, and I had the cloud of not knowing when I was younger, and all of us are in this cloud of not knowing. And so I found my way forward by just seeing what was next, not having a plan or a goal or a 5-year setup strategy. It was just taking the next step. And so I've developed this whole methodology since then around risking forward, which is how do we go forward into the unknown? Because the truth is, so much of what happens that's great in each of our lives doesn't come when we necessarily plan it. And so how do we find our way forward? And the rest is in the bio. One thing led to the next. I started working with businesses and corporations, C-suite at Microsoft and Starbucks and PayPal, and huge audiences like the one where I met you.
Mhm.
And now I coach presenters, and I help large audiences and small to deliver their best work by doing things in their own unique way with the unexpected twist that distinguishes their brand. And here I am with you.
Yes. Oh, and I love listening to, your TED Talk, your introductions. Of course, I've seen your keynote live. And one of the things that I feel like it makes you so unique as well is that you bring so much, you're so kinesthetic, and you bring so much energy and life. And I love what you're saying about that uniqueness, because it's something that so many people right now, I feel, are challenged. We've had to swim really deep being in isolation, and we're having to really kind of look inward, and are we happy doing what we're doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Is this what I want to be doing with my life? I think is a question a lot of people asked.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you one of the questions that we've been asking all of our speakers, and that is, what does beauty mean to you?
Oh, beauty means working with Leslie on my makeup. No, I'm joking.
Yay, finally.
Although that's part of what I'm going to share here. But beauty to me is about full expression, and whatever is the full extent of you, whoever you are. So if what you love is computer programming, it's you expressing yourself through that. If what you love is being on stage or on camera, it's you doing that. If you love being physical, photography, it's stepping in to the talents that you have and not holding back in that way. And so often I think we hide parts of who we are to fit into a mold. So whenever someone is, I call it like the popcorn principle. You think about a little kernel of popcorn sort of becoming full. And we all have that set of possibilities within us. And I think when we're lit up and we're excited and we're hopeful and we're optimistic, those are pretty good signs that you're on the right track. So that is beauty, is being, it's not a place that we arrive, it's a current that we ride.
Oh, I love that. A current that you ride. It's like a river.
Yes,
Yes.
that is risking forward. I call it the inner current.
Yes, it is. That's what I was talking about, how, beauty is a journey, and that has been actually a current through so many of the different speakers sharing that as well. No one's really said, oh my gosh, beauty is having Leslie do my makeup.
Yeah, right.
Darn.
Right. It's never static. That's the thing. Like, you could look at a bouquet of flowers or a still life and say, that's beautiful. But, we've all seen women, since I think your audience here is mostly women, they're all made up and they're so restricted in their clothing, and they're not in motion. And I mean that physically, but also metaphorically. So I think a beauty is a verb.
So deep. Thank you. So my next question is, my next question is, when did you discover your beauty?
Well, when I was 5, I remember with my sister, we put in our little dress up outfits, the fairy costume top and the sparkles and the little tutus. And we had a sense of beauty then, because we'd seen something out there in the world, for better or for worse, the pink, the purple, the sparkles. And we would run around the house with our costumes, and we had our dress up costumes. I still can remember them. And that was that phase, right? And then I went through sort of a tomboy phase. So I wasn't thinking beauty, right? I was more interested in keeping up with my family. We all have beauty. This is what I mean. Beauty's like a verb. We come and we go. I remember being 15 and starting to come into a sense of beauty and liking my bikini. But then I fell out of that. I got to college. There was the freshman 20 pounds that we all gained, And so you go through these phases. I was uncomfortable in my body. I came through that later and discovered again my beauty as an actor. And then there was a time in my 30s, it was really hard. And I fell out of that again. And then I rediscovered it. So it's been back and forth. I think we come into ourselves and then we lose that as we go through a transition. And then we find it again. And of course, ending most recently with your makeup lessons, which have made me feel so great.
Well, it's interesting because being someone of your caliber, you're so accustomed to having somebody there a lot of times. But like you were saying, it can be a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time that makeup artist may work with you. So they don't necessarily know your brand.
Totally.
Right. And I feel like you're saying, that's just such the essence. And especially in the world now of social media, being on camera, all of that, you can probably work through anything, but if you don't look how you really want to look or feel good looking, it just affects everything else. So your performance, all of that. And so share a little bit about, well, you were saying, you were kind of sharing about risk forward and what that means.
Sure.
And also, I would love for you to share about your book that you have coming up, which is amazing. That's a huge task.
Yes, it is. And we all have a book inside of us. Yeah, so risking forward. Years ago, I studied mime, as I mentioned, with a legendary French mime, Marcel Marceau. And there was this type of movement which he taught us, which was weight forward onto one foot, heart open, and you were almost off balance because it was like you were the sail of a boat. You were moving forward, open, heading into the unknown. And I've come to think of that really as a philosophy for life. How can we go forward, heart open, heading into the unknown? Not like this, but open. And so risking forward is following that heart, following that inner current, and seeing where it takes us, even if it doesn't make sense to others, and at times to ourselves. And so that's how I see risking forward. And people come to me all the time. They're saying, I'm thinking of moving to the city. It's a risk forward. I think I'm going to stop doing this type of project. And sometimes stopping is a risk forward because we're taking a step into the unknown. So risking forward is not go for your goals and leap and the net will appear. It's actually the opposite of that. It's how do we go forward even when we're uncomfortable, and we're uncertain. We're not even sure where we're going. We don't even have a goal. We're just heading into that fog. And I always call it the fog of not knowing. And as I said, we're so often in that period now. And if you look back at your life, again, so many of the wonderful choices that you made came when you just followed that essence and it led you to where you are now.
Yes. I find that I can relate in the sense for women, even with their beauty, where you're so, well, a lot of times our makeup routines are just habitual and we've been doing them for so long, and to shift maybe from that nude lipstick to the red or even letting go of, because I think, it's like entering your home. Unless you're very detailed oriented, you're not noticing all the little things that are kind of like need to be spruced up, right?
Right. Yeah, you stop looking at it.
Yeah. it just kind of becomes what's so. And so you kind of lose like the possibility of what our potential is or what could be even more fulfilling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes a great example because we all have friends who wear a lipstick color that is really not that flattering on them. And we're like, oh my God, do they realize that bright pink or that really dark brown is just not great? Or their eyeliner's really hard. And you can't tell them that, right? I know, Leslie, you've looked at some videos or colleagues of people I've shown you, and you're like, oh, I could help her, right? And it's like, it's exactly that. And we just get habituated to our style of makeup. We have the equipment that we have in our kit. And the same is true for our life, right? And that's what you're saying. The part of Risk Forward that I love so much is it's not about, necessarily these huge career changes, although it could be that. It's really how do we add these small elements in our life on a daily basis that make a big difference. And these things can make a moment very different, like putting on a different piece of music, right? And these are small changes we can do. It's pulling a different book off your shelf or pulling one off of the internet and reading it that's following what you like, even if it doesn't make sense. So it's letting go of what we think we should be and stepping into what we really want to be. And that's how I've lived my whole life. I didn't get married until I was in my 40s. Everyone else was doing that. Didn't feel right to me. I skipped my first divorce.
I love that. I love that. I think I've skipped 2 divorces actually.
Yeah. That line's in my book too. And it was also in my keynote. It's just, right?
I did. I heard it. And I said, oh my gosh, that is so my life right there.
Yeah, exactly. And you flip it around and you see it in a positive way. Then everyone goes, oh, I should have skipped my first divorce to save a lot of money.
That was a smart move, by the way.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So share a little bit about, because now, I'm not a keynote speaker, but I'm learning more how to be able to do interviews and things like that. So my interest, and I think so many others, because of now having to be on social media and not being able to go to these big groups and all of that, what you offer, because I was looking at your website, Rock the Room, that looks like a fantastic program. Can you share some of the other programs that you have? Because you're so multifaceted and everyone needs to check you out. I already have a couple clients for you, by the way.
Yeah. So I have 2 brands. One of them is Rock the Room, which is the one you just mentioned. And that's to help people rock it and knock their presentations out of the park on stage, on camera, in meetings, and in life. And it's a really comprehensive, incredibly easy. I've taken 20 years of coaching experience from the top CEOs to entrepreneurs appearing on Oprah's stage, to people doing TED Talks and PBS appearances, and all of that intellectual property, having coached literally hundreds and hundreds of people, privately, thousands in group settings. And I've condensed that into a 5-part, really quick, like 5-minute little modules within an online course. We call that Rock the Room. And you can go to rocktheroom.com. We have mini courses, we have bigger courses. And if there are any questions, you can reach out. We're happy to help. The thing that people say when they come through that course is they go, this is so easy. This is so fun. And I finally feel myself. Ooh. Because bad coaches will turn you into a puppet. And they'll say like, okay, stand like this, turn like this, smile like this, raise your voice like this, have modulate. And all of a sudden you can't even be who you are. Right. And that goes back to my comment about beauty. It's from within, and it's the movement and expression. So I always have my clients feel more themselves. Every client should look different. They should look like themselves, not like me, not like someone else, but like themselves. Right. Like a good relationship. Someone's in a good relationship when who they are is more themselves, right? Not when they're changing. Yeah. So that's Rock the Room. And I love that program. We have a course called Rock It on Video for people who want to be great on video. And it's just, it's a killer program. I can stand behind it and believe in it with every fiber of my being. So much so that we offer these guarantees, like, you don't like it, we'll refund your money, but no one's ever refunded. So that's Rock the Room. Risk Forward is this proprietary system, which the book is all about, around how do we bring out the best in ourselves, not necessarily on stage or on camera, although there's some stories about that, but how do we move forward into the unknown? And how do we recognize that not knowing is actually an asset? It's when we don't know that it's fertile and it's full of promise. And if we can step into that void without grasping for the most convenient way out, and I'll explain what I mean, what we meet can be beyond our expectations. What I mean by that is, let's just say, going back to the dating or the marrying example, you're in that void and you're like, I don't know. And there's someone who's offering you a hand in marriage. And you're like, or maybe it's a date, and you're like, I don't really, stay there, like honor that. Because if you just grasp it, and I've seen a lot of friends early on get married because they were turning 30. And now they're in a painful divorce and it's messy, right? So like, you're better off saying no than going into something you don't want to do, right? And so hold out for the right thing. I'm a big believer in that, and I am a living example of that. So risking forward is really a series of strategies, mostly from the performing arts, for you to find your way forward in a way that's totally unique to you, whether it's in an hour, in a business setting, in a project, a plan, or a path. So that's how we look at it: a project, plan, or path.
Mm-hmm. And how is that course structured?
Yeah, well, it's the opposite of Rock the Room, which is a 5-part system. I wanted to address the freedom of people finding their own path. I don't think there's a system for that in the sense of like 5 parts. The book is designed to be read in any order, which I love. Ooh. So you can read it in any order, in the way that feels right to you. Of course, there is a flow. It's sort of a 7-phase program, but it's not you have to do this step and then that step, which Rock the Room has more of an essence of, right? This is just go to what speaks to you now, because the book is written to be read again and again at different phases of your life. Mm-hmm. Because we all go through different times. And at one point, a certain chapter will speak to you, and another time, another. It's beautifully designed. It's a full color printed book. We just sent off the final colors to the publisher yesterday or 2 days ago. This is the cover. It's now up on Amazon. Ooh. So exciting.
Nice.
And this is the character going into the unknown. And then I have this trademarked character that I illustrated the book with. I took this little guy, and these illustrations are through the book. So it's really quite special.
That is phenomenal. What I love so much about this summit is that I have had the opportunity to share with my audience, your audience, just the uniqueness, like you're saying, of every single speaker and what they have brought, their uniqueness. With you have, like you said, you've put all your 20 years of experience into that program and into your book, and being able to have a special, it's something special that helps elevate all of us.
Yes. And just to circle back to this comment about, don't grasp for the most convenient way out. There's a story that got cut from the book, but we actually put it in a bonus resource area for your beauty Dharma people specifically. We put together 3 bonus pieces that got cut from the book, sort of like the special scenes that were pulled aside from the movie, if you will. And so no one's seen those yet, but we put them together for you, and they're you can tell them where the URL is.
Yes. So for all the audience, there is a bonus that is her gift to you, and it is riskforward.com/beauty. And that's also in the email and in the information.
riskforward.com/beauty. And there's this great deleted, if you will, or excerpted, it's a bonus chapter where I talk about, and this, I think people resonate, and my early readers who saw the book before it went out, they're like, I love this chapter. And then we actually ended up pulling it out for various reasons. But it's all about, it's about the quick and easy yes, and being careful of that quick and easy yes. Because once you're committed, and I made the mistake of a quick and easy yes, then you're in. And it was a 2-year detour in my life. And one thing led to the next, and then I was committed. And it's a sort of an amazing story. And it's a great cautionary tale. So that's in there. The other thing we put in there, which is one of my awesome strategies that I use both in Rock the Room and in Risk Forward, is called KDF, which is Know, Do, Feel. And it's all about how do we express ourselves step into who we are in any given setting, any communication setting, but also with our family or friends. So that's in there too. It's probably my client's favorite strategy called KDF, and we pulled it out of the book for various reasons. So that is there for you free.
Cool. I can't wait to read this and
Yeah.
to get the book.
Yeah. Thank you.
You said it is, when is it launching?
So the book is out March 16, but you can pre-order now, which is amazing. Like we just have a pre-order page. You can find out more about that at the that special link, riskforward.com/beauty. And it we're those people who buy it early right now. Actually, there's a special listening skills workshop, which I usually sell, but you'll find out more about that at that link. So it's a 3-part amazing short 4 to 5 minute videos on listening skills, which is what we really need right now.
Absolutely.
So it launches March, but you can get it right now.
I'm ordering it. I saw you when you had everything out on the floor. You were creating your book. I'm like, when is it going to happen? So,
oh gosh, that's right. Yeah, I spread out all the pages and the ideas.
yes. And so it's so beautiful to see something come to fruition. And I kind of feel the same way with all of the speakers and all of these moving parts.
Yeah.
So in a virtual way. But
Yeah.
Victoria, you are such a gift to all of us. Everyone needs to check her out. She is phenomenal, at the top of her game, risk forward. That is going to be like in our vocabulary now.
It totally is. Yeah. Yeah.
It is such a fabulous thing. Thank you so, so much. You are just so beautiful and such a gem and just so down to earth, which I love. And I can't wait to be a part of your program, getting the book. Everybody needs to check out her website. Her TED Talk is phenomenal. All kinds of assets that are in there, and join her community because now she's your friend too.
I am your friend, and I do this because I love it. I am past that point in my life where I've been driven by the things that are ego-based. For me, this is a gift, and it's fun. It's a joy to work with you, Leslie. You're a gift to all of us, and for everyone listening. When you're in a phase of not knowing, embrace that. And if anyone gives you a hard time, whether it's your personal or your professional life, here's what you say. You say, I don't know. I'm risking forward.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. And to all of the speakers, it is riskforward.com/beauty. Victoria's gifts are there waiting for you. And we will see you on the next Beauty Dharma Summit.
Absolutely. Thank you, Leslie. Thank
Bye.
you all.